Good evening, my name's Dawn Evans. I'm the course coordinator for Level 3 Photography, and my colleague Adam Shipley is the coordinator for Level 2.
Hello.
So we're just going to talk you through this open event, show you some examples of our students' work, talk to you about what to expect if you choose to apply for a course with us. So we'll get started. So first of all, just welcome. Whatever level you're applying for, we are looking for students who are creative, curious, hardworking and experimental. So what we expect to see from you is a commitment to your chosen subjects, a high standard of attendance and punctuality, and the ability to complete work to deadlines. So to be able to apply for the course, to get a place, these are the things that you need to be aware of. So we run courses from levels 1 to 3 in the further education sector. So we've got level 1 art, level 2 art and level 2 photography. And then at level 3, we have an extended diploma in creative practice, but we offer 3 different pathways. So we run a course in fine art, graphic design and photography. So those are the entry requirements that you need. So for level 3, you would need 4 grade 4s or Cs at GCSE. So 2 of those must be English and art or photography. If you're coming through level 2, then you would need to have a merit at level 2 and also need your English GCSE at a grade 4. For level 2 photography, then you would need 4 grade 3s and one of those must be art or a related subject or a merit from level 1. So you would also need to submit a portfolio of your work to us and provide us with a reference and attend an interview to be accepted on a course. So normally you would come into the college and see us, but at the moment we are doing everything online. So you would be invited to a Teams meeting once you'd submitted your portfolio to have a chat with myself or Adam. So if you do not achieve a C or a 4 in your English or maths, you will have to retake it. So these sessions will be automatically built into your timetable, so you don't need to worry about any of that. You will also be expected to complete 30 hours of work experience, so this may be off-site or through live project briefs. You will also be expected to produce work in your independent time, which must be logged. And support is available, so if you have any additional support needs, then please make sure that you let us know so that we can make sure right from interview that we are supporting you and being able to help you to be successful on your chosen course. If you do not achieve the grades that you were predicted, then don't worry, we will offer you a place on the next appropriate level. So you might apply for level 3, get accepted on a level 3, but then something goes wrong and you don't quite necessarily get the grades that you were targeting. So what we would do is offer you a place on the level 2 qualification. So our goals are to support students to be successful. Sometimes this can mean it takes an extra year to build up these skills. And it might seem like it's a setback at that time, but a lot of the students that do level 2 before they come on to level 3 have a lot more confidence and a lot more skill, so it can be beneficial in the long run. The first 6 weeks of the year are a trial period where students can be transferred between courses and levels. So students must attend well and complete all work set within this period to complete the trial. If students are struggling or excelling during this time, then they can be transferred to a more appropriate level to ensure that they can achieve and progress. You also have the opportunity within that 6 weeks to be transferred to a different pathway. So if you enrolled on photography but then decide that you're more fine art based, then we can make those transfers during that time as well. So you do need to be aware of some things before applying for the course. So there is an element of cost. All the courses that we offer in art and design are specialised and therefore have a level of cost, so you need to be aware of those. We have kit fees at the start of the year to cover materials and resources that you will need for your project work. So these vary from £80 to £150 depending on the level and the course that you are on. This will be clarified to you during the summer when you get your start information. So we usually go on a number of trips and visits during the academic year, which stimulate, influence and reinforce your learning, which is a cost of £100 a year. And overseas trips usually happen as well for students that are on level 3 and above courses. So this happens at the beginning of your final project to enhance and support that work, but that trip is not mandatory. So I say usually because obviously this year is an exception, and so there is a limit on things, and we're not quite sure at the moment what is going to be happening next year. But again, you'll be informed of what the exact costs are for your course during the summer. Student finance is available for kit fees, travel and trips, so you can apply online through the Student Hub if you wish to. There are also booklets available in reception. So if you gain a place, then you can accept it or decline it. So some of you might be applying for different colleges, different courses. So once you get those places, then obviously you need to decide on which one is the most appropriate course and college for you. So if you do accept your place and then change your mind, then please just let us know as soon as possible so that we know how many numbers we are expecting in September. During the summer, you will receive information with your start date and what you will need to bring in during induction week. And you will also receive a project to complete over the summer. So we like to get you cracking right away in the summer so that we can see what skills you've got when you come in to us in September. And it also gives us like a diagnostic assessment so we can see your starting point and how you're developing and improving during the first 6 weeks of the course. So how will my course run, I hear you ask? So all our courses are UAL qualifications. So they are accredited by the University of the Arts, London. So these courses were all written by creative people for creative students. So they offer freedom, flexibility and individual approaches for learners to explore a range of materials, techniques and processes. So all units are pass only, apart from your final unit, which is where you will be assessed at pass, merit or distinction. And whatever you get for that final project will determine your grade for the course. So you will work through project briefs for each unit, and your lessons will feature workshops and demonstrations from your tutors, alongside time for you to develop and explore your own practice. So your deadline and tasks will be clearly stated on your project brief. So there will be an element to every project where you will all be learning the same kind of techniques, developing different skills in the darkroom, in the studio, on Photoshop. But then you will also have the chance to be able to produce work that is personal to you and that is independent to you. So we really encourage that students are all doing things that are very different to each other and that are very specific and very personal to you. Once you hand in your work at deadline, you will receive feedback in 3 weeks. So we have 3 weeks to assess it and to give you your feedback. If you don't achieve all the criteria for that unit, then you will have time to be able to add into it and resubmit that work. So it is up to you how long that takes, but you cannot move on to the next unit and the next project until all that work is completed and signed off. So you must pass all units to achieve your qualification, and every student will be allocated a personal tutor. So for level 2, that will be with Adam, and for level 3, that will be with myself. So good luck if you're applying. You can apply online. If you go to the college website, then you will be able to put an application in there. Right, so what can you expect on your course? So we will stretch and challenge you to create work to a high standard. We will push you to research, plan, explore, reflect and problem solve ideas. We will expect you to engage in the world and use a range of sources for inspiration. And we will expect you to be open-minded, curious, and open to feedback and discussion.
Get behind the lens. Discover the type of photographer you want to be. Digital imaging and manipulation, darkroom practice, location photography, studio photography, experimental imagery, and more. You'll have the freedom to specialise as you move towards your chosen career. Study photography at the stunning Blossomfield campus, and our industry expert tutors will be with you every step of the way. You can even progress onto a university-level course. Right here, discover your future at Solihull College and University Centre.
Right, so we've got some of the units so that you can kind of see how the courses are made up. So at level 1, there is 2 units that are the award. So people that finish after just those 2 units still get a qualification. But there is an additional 5 other units to complete. So all of them are just pass or fail, apart from the last one, which is the art design and media project. For level 2, it's a similar thing, that there is the drop-down award for level 1 and 2. And then there are the additional 6 units after that. And again, the final project is the one that determines the grade that you get. So the level 2, art and design and photography, they all do the same unit. So there aren't specialist photography units and specialist art units. They are the same thing. We just put a photography or an art spin on them because we write the qualifications. We write the project briefs. So at level 3, we have the fine art, graphic design and photography pathways. So the first year of the qualification is a diploma in creative practice. So there are 3 units that are part of the first year. So unit 1 and unit 2 are pass only, and then unit 3, responding to a set brief, is your final project, which you get to write yourself, and that is what gives you the pass, merit or distinction. Some students only stay with us for 1 year, so you would leave with a diploma if you left after the first year. The majority of our students stay with us for the 2 years, and then that gets topped up to an extended diploma in creative practice. So students will already have achieved the first 3 units of the course. So the second year will be research and a specialist industry practice, specialist technical skills development, and again a final project, which is your specialist creative outcome, which will determine the qualification outcome overall. So your second year grade overrides your first year grade. So we also run a foundation diploma in art and design, which is a kind of a bridging qualification for students that might not feel confident to go straight to university after finishing a level 3 course. So the first 2 units of that qualification are at level 3, and then the final project for that course is at level 4. So it's really preparing students and bridging that gap for university. So where will your course lead? So all the courses that we offer offer progression from level 1 all the way up to level 3 or 4 with that foundation qualification. The majority of our students do go on to university, and we spend the start of the second year of the qualification supporting and mentoring students to complete that university application. We have just offered a BA with Northampton University at the college. So that is an opportunity for students to be able to stay with us. It incorporates students from all different pathways to be able to work together and create a broad professional creative practice. So there are jumping off points at each level as well for students who reach the end of their art and design journey or are looking to go off onto a different pathway. So career paths that are available after the course. So I've got a screenshot there from the creativeindustries.co.uk of the different sectors of the the different sectors of the creative industries and the different sectors that exist within that area. So I've got some information on here for you. So the creative industries definition is industries which have their origin in individual creativity, skill and talent, and have the potential for wealth and job creation through the generation and exploitation of intellectual properties. So as I said, there are 13 subsectors in the creative industries, which vary from advertising, architecture, art and culture, craft, createch, design, fashion, games, music, publishing, and TV and radio. The creative industries in the UK contributed more than 111 billion to the economy in 2018. So it's one of the biggest growing sectors of the UK economy. There's a link on the bottom there with the statistics of where I've got that from the government's website. So the UK creative economy is growing at a fantastic rate. So it is estimated that 1 in 11 UK jobs are from the creative industries. So there's some infographics on there that shows you the different regions where the majority of the jobs are. So you would think that the majority of them is in London, which is still the case, but you can see how that is growing and developing across the whole of the UK, which is fantastic. So creativity is a very important thing to employers. So employers are always wanting to see that people can come up with ideas, that they can problem solve, that they can adapt to different situations, and that they can think creatively and critically in different situations. So there is some information on there about how creativity skills can empower you to become an entrepreneur, can help everyone find greater job security, help people to be able to set up their own businesses and invent new markets. We're kind of at a stage at the moment where jobs that in the next 20, 30, 40 years, they probably don't exist yet. So we're giving students that ability to be able to adapt, to be able to use new technologies, to be able to adapt to those and be able to problem solve and work out how to be able to, you know, just work out how to be able to adapt to different situations and different things. And that's a really important skill that is usable, whether you stay within the creative industries or whether students go on to different walks of life and different pathways. So these are some of the key things that we teach in art and design. So the ability to think critically, to be able to communicate, to be able to work in teams, and to be able to be information literate, to be able to work in digital technologies, to be able to work with old technologies, analog technologies and new technologies that are emerging currently, and to have professional responsibility and to understand about ethics and sustainability. These are really important things. So critical thinking is one of the most important things that we try to establish in students. So this ability to be able to engage with problem solving, to work with others, to be able to think in the real world and make applications that are relevant, to be able to analyse, to reason and evaluate, and to reflect on what you have done, because that pushes you to be able to improve, and it is something that people should be doing throughout. Okay, so I've got some examples of student work to be able to show you as well now. So we're going all the way through from level 1 up until foundation. So this is level 1 work. So these are images from an end of year show. And we've got some sketchbook work on there as well. So students generally work in sketchbooks or on sheets. So there's a range of different techniques, a range of different applications, processes that you will see through this work. So 3D work, drawing, painting. And so students have to kind of plan, problem solve, reflect, and present all of that process in their sketchbooks. And the sketchbooks is what they will hand in for assessment. So it should be like a diary that kind of is reflecting and showing the journey that students are going through. So we've got some fine artwork here, again from our end of year shows. So again, you can see that there's quite a diverse range. So we really encourage students to be independent, to work on things that are important to them, to follow their strengths. So you've got some sheets there as well. So that analysis and reflection is really important. And so these are sheets from Fine Art Level 3. So next up, we've got graphic design students. So again, they're working on industry standard Apple Macs with industry standard Adobe software. So again, a very kind of broad range of work that students are producing. Okay, and then moving on to photography. So we've got black and white film, documentary, project work, fashion portraiture on location. So some example of some reflection and analysis for artist research, an analysis of photo shoots in the studio, and then kind of the end results. So we've got some Polaroid work, got some studio work, so you can kind of see how the students are setting up their shoot, how they've got the lights set up, and then the end results. So these are some images that a student took during lockdown where everywhere was completely deserted. So you've got some more sketchbook work. So they are meant to be blurry as well. And then last of all, we've got foundation art and design. So again, these are from our end of year show. And then last of all, this is just an example of a blog that a fine art student has been producing. So we are trying to encourage students to work in the way that is most suitable for them. So some students really like to work through sketchbooks, and some students prefer to work on a blog and update their blog constantly. So this is just an example of a blog. So you can see we try to respond to students and look at the best way for the students to get evidence across to us. So as long as we can see the evidence, then that is what is important to us. So some students will prefer to kind of record themselves talking about their work. Some students might prefer to write things down, also voice record themselves. So we are very open to just looking for the best way to be able to get that evidence from students. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope it was informative and we managed to answer all your questions. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.